Life is suffering. That's the starting point. But within that suffering, there's an opportunity, a profound opportunity to rise above chaos and despair, to create a life that not only keeps anxiety and depression at bay, but gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. You don't need to be trapped by these shadows forever. First, understand this: you must take responsibility for your life. Stop blaming circumstances, your past, or other people. Life is unfair, sure, but fixating on unfairness will not lift you out of anxiety or depression. You have to decide to take the reins, even if your starting point is small. Begin by making your bed every morning, clean your room. These might seem trivial, but they're not. By ordering your immediate environment, you signal to yourself that order is possible, even amidst chaos. Taking responsibility for your life is the foundation of everything meaningful. It's not about blaming yourself for the hardships you've faced or the things you couldn't control. Life will always throw unfairness your way. But what matters, what truly defines you, is how you choose to respond. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's an opportunity. It's the acknowledgement that while you may not be at fault for where you are right now, it is up to you to decide where you'll go from here. The moment you take responsibility, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for someone else to save you, to fix your problems, or to grant you permission to start living. Responsibility says, I am capable of influencing my own life. And that's not a small statement. It's a revolutionary one. It means that even if you've been hurt, even if you've failed, even if the odds are stacked against you, you still have the ability to make a difference, to take the next step to turn chaos into order. It starts small. You don't have to fix everything at once. Start by controlling the things you can. Clean your room, organize your schedule, take care of your body. These actions might seem trivial, but they're not. They're symbolic. They tell your mind, I can handle this. I can take charge of my environment. And from there, the circle of influence grows. Taking responsibility is scary because it forces you to confront your shortcomings, your mistakes, and your vulnerabilities. But it's also liberating because it means you're no longer a victim of circumstance. You have the power to change, to grow, and to build a better future. It won't happen overnight, and it won't always be easy, but the alternative is far worse: being stuck, powerless, and resentful. Responsibility is what transforms chaos into order and suffering into meaning. It's not just a duty, it's a gift. By taking ownership of your life, you set yourself on a path to purpose, resilience, and strength. You tell the world and yourself that you are capable of rising above whatever comes your way. Life isn't about chasing comfort. It's about pursuing something that matters, something meaningful. Comfort is seductive. It's easy, it's safe, it feels good in the moment. But comfort, when pursued for its own sake, often leaves us feeling empty, restless, and dissatisfied. True fulfillment doesn't come from avoiding struggle or pain. It comes from facing it in the pursuit of something worthwhile. When you choose meaning over comfort, you align yourself with a deeper sense of purpose. You recognize that life is not supposed to be a constant escape from difficulty. Struggles are not interruptions to your life, they are part of it. And when those struggles are tied to something meaningful, they stop feeling like a burden and start feeling like a challenge worth embracing. A meaningful goal gives your suffering context. It gives you a reason to persist when things get hard. Meaning doesn't come handed to you on a silver platter. You have to create it, define it, and pursue it with intention. It might be your family, your career, your art, or your service to others. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it calls you to grow, to contribute, and to strive for something greater than yourself. The pursuit of meaning asks you to stretch beyond your limits, to sacrifice immediate gratification for the sake of long-term fulfillment. This path isn't easy. Choosing meaning over comfort will require you to endure failure, rejection, and discomfort. But here's the secret. Every time you overcome those challenges, you grow stronger. You become more resilient, more capable, more alive. Comfort, on the other hand, weakens you. It dulls your senses, shrinks your ambition, and keeps you stuck in a life that feels smaller than the one you're capable of living. The truth is, comfort is fleeting, but meaning endures. A life of comfort might feel pleasant, but it won't satisfy your soul. A life of meaning, however, will give you a reason to keep moving forward, even in the darkest moments. It will remind you that the struggle itself is valuable, that growth is worth the pain, and that there's something beautiful waiting on the other side of perseverance. Life without structure is chaos, and chaos feeds anxiety, confusion, and despair. And discipline and routine are not restrictive. They are the tools that set you free. They create a framework within which you can thrive. When you wake up every day with no plan, no order, and no clear direction, the world can feel overwhelming. There's too much to do and no clear way to begin. But when you impose structure on your life, you take control. You stop being tossed around by the randomness of life and start building a solid foundation for yourself. Routine might sound dull, but it's not. It's empowering. A good routine isn't about forcing yourself into monotony. It's about creating consistency so you can focus your energy on what truly matters. Every morning when you wake up and follow a disciplined pattern, making your bed, exercising, or organizing your day, you're signaling to yourself that you are capable of order. These small actions build momentum. They give you a sense of accomplishment, and that momentum carries over into larger goals. Discipline is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about caring for yourself enough to create habits that serve you in the long run. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early to pursue your goals. It's making time for exercise even when it's inconvenient. It's choosing a task that will move your life forward instead of sinking into distractions. Discipline is the mechanism through which you transform intention into action. When you structure your life, you take away the uncertainty that breeds procrastination and fear. You don't have to wonder what comes next because you've already decided. You build a sense of stability and predictability in a world that often feels chaotic. And as you practice this structure, you realize something powerful. Discipline doesn't limit you, it expands you. It allows you to achieve more, grow more, and live more fully. A well-structured life gives you clarity. It creates room for creativity, progress, and fulfillment. It frees you from the paralysis of indecision and the chaos of disorder. It gives you the tools to step into each day with purpose and confidence, knowing that you're actively building a life that aligns with your goals and values. Structure is not the enemy of freedom, it is its foundation. Fear is a powerful force. It whispers to you to stay where you are, to avoid the unknown, to play it safe. But what fear doesn't tell you is that avoidance only makes it stronger. The things you refuse to face don't go away, they grow. They loom larger in your mind, casting shadows over your life and limiting what you believe you're capable of. The truth is, fear only has power over you if you let it. The moment you choose to confront it, you start to reclaim control. When you avoid your fears, you teach yourself to believe that you're incapable of handling them. Each time you sidestep a difficult conversation, a challenging situation, or an uncomfortable truth, you reinforce the idea that it's too much for you. But that's a lie. You are far stronger than you realize, and you'll never discover the extent of that strength if you keep running away. Facing your fears doesn't mean you won't feel afraid. It means you decide to move forward despite the fear. Start small. You don't have to take on the biggest, most intimidating challenge right away, but you do have to start. Take one step toward what scares you, even if it's a tiny one. If you're afraid of speaking up, say one sentence. If you're afraid of failure, take a small risk. Every step you take builds courage, and courage is not the absence of fear, it's the determination to act in spite of it. When you confront your fears, something extraordinary happens. You realize that the thing you were so afraid of wasn't as insurmountable as you thought. You learn that you are capable of handling discomfort, uncertainty, and even failure. And with every fear you face, you become more resilient, more confident, and more in control of your life. Avoidance keeps you trapped in a smaller version of your life, but facing your fears expands it. It opens up new opportunities, new experiences, and new levels of personal growth. Fear is a teacher, not a tyrant. It shows you where you have room to grow and what you need to overcome. So don't let fear dictate your path. Step toward it, face it, and watch as the world becomes less intimidating and you become unstoppable. Life is not meant to be lived in isolation. No matter how strong or independent you think you are, you need people, and people need you. Relationships are not just a nice addition to life. They are at the very core of what makes life meaningful. When you invest in others and allow them to invest in you, you create a foundation of connection, trust, and support that can carry you through even the darkest times. Loneliness is one of the greatest sources of pain, and it thrives in silence and withdrawal. When you isolate yourself, you cut off the opportunity for others to lift you up, and you rob yourself of the joy that comes from lifting them up in return. You don't need to have a perfect social circle, nor do you need dozens of friends. What you need is authenticity. a willingness to be present and to truly see and value the people around you. Contributing to others is one of the most profound ways to find purpose. When you focus only on yourself, your problems can feel overwhelming. But when you extend your hand to help someone else, you shift your perspective. You realize you're not alone in your struggles and that you have the power to make a difference. It doesn't have to be grandiose. A kind word, a listening ear, or a small gesture of support can change someone's day. And it can change yours too. Building relationships takes effort, requires vulnerability, patience, and forgiveness. People are imperfect, just as you are, and there will be times when relationships are challenging. But those challenges are worth facing because relationships teach you about empathy, compassion, and resilience. When you contribute to others, you step into a life that is bigger than yourself. You become a part of something greater, a family, a friendship, a community. And in giving to others, you find a deep sense of fulfillment that can't be found anywhere else. Relationships are the glue that holds us together, and through them we discover the best parts of ourselves. So reach out, connect, and give. Because in the end, what you give to others is what gives life its richest meaning. And lastly, remember this: no one builds a meaningful life in isolation. Loneliness magnifies depression. Connection reduces it. Invest in relationships that matter. Your family, your friends, your community. Go out and contribute. Help someone else who's struggling. When you engage with the world, you start to see your role in the bigger picture. You stop focusing solely on yourself. And in doing so, you find relief from the weight of your internal struggles. So, what's the lesson here? Life is hard. Suffering is inevitable. But that doesn't mean you're doomed to anxiety and depression forever. Take responsibility. Pursue meaning. Build structure. Face your fears. And connect with others. These are the pillars of a life that keeps darkness at bay. Stand tall, aim high, and build a life worth living.